world, and welcome to the Wolf's Den today. Ladies and gentlemen, today we've got the 4 members of Shadow of Everest right here in the Wolf's Den, all ready to put out your, well actually, congratulations, because today your CD came out.
Yes, sure did.
Thank you.
So, who we got in the studio tonight?
JV.
Got JV, and JV, you're the guitar player and the singer.
That's right.
Matt, I bang on the tubs.
You bang on the tubs, Matt, and you're the bad character of the group.
Sean, a slap at the bass.
Good slapping the bass.
Andrew, I play the tuba.
There you go. Have you never heard a hard rock band with a tuba? Man, you're missing out.
I actually can play the tuba.
Yeah.
Quite well.
You play that little one too?
I could.
Yeah? I forget what it's called, but it's a weird...
Euphonium.
French horn?
No,
Euphonium.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, guys, it's been, what, about a year now since we last chatted?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Your first album had just broken out, and you guys were eager to get out there and start pounding some stage floors, and you had a good year.
Yeah, it was a really good year. Couple festivals, lots of shows, lots of traction, streams and what have you on the last record, and we put all the material together for this one.
And now collaborated all together, everybody writes, everybody gets in on the music writing and everything, or...
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, we all have an idea and bring it, and then we all kind of
Put our parts together and
add the finishing touches.
just go with it. But I find, like, from my perspective, a lot of times the guys will come typically with like a guitar riff, and a lot of the material for our newer album, it's just a lot more kind of complicated with timing changes and stops and starts, and so I mean it's funny, like a lot of times Sean would come in and be like, oh man, I got this new song and all these parts, and I'm just like, wow, overwhelmed. So it's cool. It's definitely a collaborative effort. I mean, like I said, typically you'll start with one of the guys on guitar, they'll have a riff, and then we'll just kind of jam on it, and then just kind of expand and create from there.
You know, it never ceases to amaze me, the art of the creative mind. I mean, you know, you can take 4 people who come from different backgrounds and grew up in different places and all that, and yet that one catalyst of the love of music can put you together in the room, and everything changes, and the minds all come into, you know, sometimes the same place, sometimes not, but
For sure.
but at the end of the day, how many songs on the CD now? 8?
There's 8 tracks.
Yeah.
7 songs. One's more of a piece of ear candy.
Okay.
It's just
Yeah,
a song.
set
A song's a
set the
song.
mood.
Yeah. There's 8 tracks.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now, when did you start putting this one together?
November? No.
No, we started last April.
Technically we started tracking last, like February 2018. We recorded a song at the old Confidence Lodge
Yeah.
with Diego as kind of a test the waters to see if that facility worked out for us, and it did. But we had some scheduling issues and wound up at the Sonic Temple, and that just it honestly it worked out for everybody. We met Mike Hastings and in September or October. I think we were in recording in October of 2018, and Mike was just great to work with. He seemed to know our style and what we wanted to achieve and the way we wanted to sound, and he was extremely accommodating, and that's when we really started laying everything else down, was in October.
And it was a fairly quick process. Like we did it over a couple weekends. I was actually surprised how smoothly it went. I mean, even just speaking from my parts when it comes to drumming, like going into it, I was a little nervous because a lot of, like, 2 of the songs we didn't have down like the back of our hands, especially from my perspective. There were still parts that I was a little unsure of. And so I wanted to go into the studio with just everything perfect on time, from like a tempo standpoint, that I can play like with the click, know all my parts. So when I went in, I was kind of like, oh shit, like I'm not prepared enough, and I was like, oh man, I don't want to take too much time or let the guys down, and I was just really surprised how it turned out. it flowed really well.
Well, you know, when you care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought we were well rehearsed before we hit the studio. Like we practiced, because we didn't want to pay extra money for taking up time doing takes. We wanted to go in there and nail it.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah,
thought-
well, why spend somebody else's, why spend money to give to somebody else when you can do that in your own time?
Exactly.
And get it down, right?
Yeah.
And that's what you'd do if you weren't cutting a CD, if you were just doing
Yeah.
a new song.
You're in a
just go
professional
to-
studio. You want to be like professional. You want to go in there
Yeah.
well rehearsed, and I think we went in there well rehearsed.
So you're pleased with the finished product?
Definitely.
And
Yeah.
incredibly pleased. I feel this is nothing. Our first album, it was good. It was different in a sense that with Andrew and I, we weren't involved in the writing process on those songs for that album. So I mean, this one is obviously a lot more.
And the production of this one is just
It's incredible.
way better.
Yeah, we hit the
Yeah.
jackpot.
Yeah.
We did.
There's
Yeah.
An
We've got the
interesting
connection.
interesting combination of people involved in it. But my buddy of mine, Gordon Huntley, he's actually from HRM, but he in like 2011 he moved to Montreal to become a professional musician, and from there he ended up in Hollywood, and he's been touring the world for the last 10 years. I went to high school with him around here.
He's a DJ.
Yeah, he's an old, really good friend of mine, and he's been hounding me for years and years and years to just get out there and write songs and get songs written. And one night we were hanging out, and we're 15 years in, and he's like, I'll mix your record, man. And then I held him up to that. And he did. Yeah, he gave us a nice little friends and family discount.
Yeah.
But
Right on.
yeah, he was in town. Funnily enough, he was in town to get his green card renewed.
Oh, yeah.
But this is when Trump shut the government down. So he was stuck in Canada. And he was.
Thank you, Donald.
Yeah, I know. Literally.
And that's when we surrounded him and was like, "Hey man, I want to mix it."
Yeah.
Yeah, you said you were going to mix our CD. We're here right now.
Yeah,
Oh,
time.
Luckily, the material we brought to him was. He said it was professional quality, and it was easy in and out, and he knew exactly the sound we wanted, and
Well, you can't
That's
get
it.
much more of a better stamp of approval than that now, can you?
yeah.
No, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So now, guys, you're all musicians, but you all got day jobs. Some of you's got families and children.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
kidlets.
I mean, it's
rooms, the kids.
yeah, it's a real, it's a real game of juggling. I mean, and you're lucky because I know JB, you got it. Your family's behind you.
Yeah, 100%. They're my biggest supporters and my biggest fans for sure. It's not so much juggling as it's just constantly dropping everything and scrambling to keep picking it all back up, really. But
You must live at my house, do you?
it's really two full-time jobs. You go, you get up in the morning, you go to work, you come home, you got your kids, you spend time with them. And my little girls are into music. They strum their ukuleles and they want to hear a song, or they want to, they want me to sing to them or whatever, and that's great. But then this starts, and
Yeah.
it is a full-time job, but it doesn't feel like a full-time job when it's what you want to do.
Yeah,
right?
when you're
So-
passionate about it.
yeah, and that's where we get really lucky, is that we're four guys with our separate lives and careers and families and whatever, but we're very passionate musicians, and we're very lucky to have been like in this group, and there's really no egos, and we just get to be creative and share that, and there's no snuffing out of ideas. It's just all sharing and trying to make the idea the best version of what it can be. So
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, all right, ladies and
did
gentlemen,
it.
you know what? We've been talking to these guys now for a few minutes, and they've got a brand new CD out. So we're going to take a listen to a couple of cuts off that CD right now. Right here in the Wolf's Den on CIOE 97.5, the home of East Coast music, and also catches on the Hidden Gems Broadcasting.
Made of flesh consumed by the same. Into the ground, all senses burning. Can you wear the lion
right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back in the Wolf's Den. We got Shadow Everest with us today, and we just listened to a couple cuts off of the hunting ground. Now, guys, you say it only took from, like, say, October until when did you go to Final Press?
When we get the last Masters?
I'd say late January.
Late January, I think. The recording process was only 2 weekends, though.
Of tracking.
2 weekends of tracking.
Yeah.
And
So you guys were really prepared when you went into the studio.
we found that out. Yes.
Well, you know,
Winged it.
I'm sorry, but just knowing you guys the way I do, I can't really see you going into anything that you're not prepared for. Like, you guys, you know, like, there's no nonsense with you. You guys are serious about what you're doing, and you take it serious.
We do, but actually, funny kind of side note. There is one song on the there is one song on the album "We Are Wrong," and going into that, I think Andrew and I hadn't even heard it before. I hadn't heard the song. Period. Like, we heard it for the first time in the studio. JV he's like, yeah, it's a lighter song. It's different. You
It's
know,
easy,
Don't,
yeah.
It's easy. Don't worry about it. It'll just,
He had his part.
yeah, and
I
I mean,
did.
and it's
Sean
funny
wrote
'cause
the
it's
music.
yeah, it's turned into like
It's-
my favorite song.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Sean
man.
had the music for that one, and he played it for me ages ago. And I just said, "Man, what is that?" And he's just like, "It's just something I play on my acoustic guitar. I just like the way it sounds." He's like, "I don't really have an arrangement for it." So I was like, "Well, teach it to me. Teach me the parts." And I took it away, and it was stuck in my head. And I think over the course of like a week, I went from no arrangement to just arrangement, added some parts, helped the flow out, threw lyrics down on it, and said, "Here, we have a song now, man." But then we just kind of sat on it for years until back in October.
One of my favorite parts is how we like hauled out the big guns on that one.
Yeah.
Like, we use like an old vintage Fender Strat American, and we female vocalists and keyboards and everything. Like, and
sounds nice.
I really like the way that we stuck it in the album. We bookended it with two of the most aggro riffs that we have on the entire album. So it was pretty awesome. I liked, like, the song right before it abruptly ends,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden it's this ethereal, totally different sounding, mellow track, and then that one fades out, and then the next song is just same thing again.
Yeah, it's
like drop
Something
seed,
heavy.
drop
Yeah.
seed, chugging Macedon riffs, and
Yeah.
it was awesome.
Excellent.
But yeah, these guys did a great job with that because we sort of flew in blind. Here's the acoustic part. Yeah, okay, Matt, drum on it. Sean played some bass. Andrew, you can invent some lead parts. And even Aaron, poor Aaron. I had a jam or two with her just to kind of show her how it went. And then, silly me, I sang it ever so slightly different in the studio. So she came in, and that was a comment. She said, "I need a couple takes because this is not the way you sang it before." But she did a fantastic job.
Yeah, it came out awesome. She did a great job.
Yeah, she killed it.
Well, you know, we say all the time, the talent that's in this city, the talent that's in this province, in this area, in the Maritimes, is astronomical, and it doesn't surprise me one bit that you found somebody that could come in and you know, and do what you needed to do. So now, guys, you got, like I said, you all got lives and everything like that, but you still got a pretty busy schedule coming up.
Yeah, we do, and I mean, hopefully, when now that this album's out, it can become even busier. So, I mean, we're in our element when we're playing shows. That's when we're happiest, and the process to get there. We want to share our songs with as many people as possible. So it's the busier the better.
Sounds good to me. And there's, you guys play Gus's quite a bit.
Yep.
I know you played Monty's now. Monty's now, that could be a whole new experience.
They've renovated.
Holy
Yeah,
cow,
looks
renovated.
great. Looks
I
great.
guess they have.
Looks
Moved the
amazing.
sound booth back about 20 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Took that big hump out of the middle.
All new lights on stage, and
I don't know though, I'm so used to memory in there, my foot will keep going up and on. Right.
It was a pleasure to wheel my amp to the stage. Just
Yeah.
didn't have to
Just
lift
no
it
more,
up.
yeah.
Just across the
yeah, it
floor.
looks
was
great in there now. We're
Yeah.
excited to get back in there and
They've
play.
done a lot of work over there. There's a lot of good bands, there's a lot of good venues now that are starting to catch on again, that, live music is where it needs to be. And your guys' scene, I mean, I'm surprised, okay? I mean, don't get me wrong, I've always been a fan of heavy metal. I mean, that goes back, that's my first love was, you know, good hard rock and pounding and just getting it out there. But, you know, for a lot of years, the heavy metal scene, I won't say it disappeared, but it almost went underground, right? Because it didn't stay mainstream.
No.
You know, like, I mean, after the 70s and the 80s of the real hard rock,
Yeah.
you know, then we got into the hair bands and stuff like
The
that. But
grind
that
and all
really
that.
hard grind and rock and roll kind of took a back seat, you know, and if you wanted to go see it, you kind of like going to a, you know, a backdoor club to go see it because it wasn't mainstream.
No.
But now, I mean, holy cow, there's a
huge.
few good bands around. There's a few bands around, but you know, there's some that are putting out some really good stuff.
Yeah, man, and some of them are right here at home. There's like guys like the Combine from Newfoundland. They're
guys are amazing.
they're unbelievable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Tactus.
Tactus, they're from Fredericton. They're absolutely sick.
I just went and saw like Blackmore and Hitman and Dumpster Mummy at the Whackin' Metal Fest Seahorse there, and Novichok.
Yeah.
4 amazing bands. Like hard to pick one. There's a lot of great talent.
Yeah, so many.
But the scene's difficult. It is. It's gotten a lot more just when it comes to actually attracting fans and people.
There's a lot of bands.
Yeah, just it's.
But you know, guys, really and truly, unfortunately today, a lot of people have the attention span of a 2-year-old.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, I mean, you know, we get bombarded so drastically every day with
Content.
Yeah, you know, I mean, and most of us we're suckers for it. You know, we're tired of it, but yet we don't go away from it.
No.
You know,
Yeah.
so in the end of the day, our attention spans have been shortened to little clips. So to try to get somebody to actually sit down and take an hour out of their day and listen, that's a hard thing to
Yeah.
do.
That's what I used to love as a kid when you'd get a new record.
Yeah.
Is like
Yeah.
immersing yourself in the experience.
Well, that's what we all did. We ran
Yeah.
into our rooms, we put on our headphones,
Oh, yeah.
we
Yeah.
sat down, and nobody bothered us.
Yeah,
Like,
I-
if they did, we didn't care.
Yeah, I remember
because we were moving.
Like,
saving
I
up
couldn't
$20
hear
and going
preview.
down to the CD store
Yeah.
and buying like I don't know.
Yeah.
I still do that, and I think
Yeah, I still
we're-
buy CDs.
we're trying to fight back against that in our way because this record, we put this together without really the intent of all the songs blending the way that they did from top to bottom. Andrew and I sat down in the studio and we just wanted like a minute or two of something to kind of set the mood for us, right? And that's where Umal Ma came from. And by the end of it, and we looked at the track listing, and we just said, man, that flows really well. Like, this is an album you can put on, you can listen to it from top to bottom, but each song will stand on its own, in its own
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, our lead single, we wrote that specifically to grab your attention right away.
Yeah.
And I mean, we call ourselves a prog metal band, and that song's kind of not as proggy as you could get because it's like lyrics, like right away.
Everything's just
But
immediate.
we didn't compromise, and we tossed in some fun, complicated stuff in there, and then the ending is just like straight 64th notes, like Metallica style, like
Balls to the wall.
and yeah, it's just fun taking catchy melodies, catchy song structure, but then tossing in and twisting some complicated stuff right in the middle of it, like just like hard right turns. Like I love that stuff.
Yeah.
So now we've got prog metal.
Yeah.
We've got prog metal now, yeah.
Yeah.
It's prog metal.
And we had Viking, and a couple of weekends ago we had Viking folk,
or neo-folk.
well then there was neo folk too, but there was Viking folk in there.
Okay.
Listen, you know, when I was growing up, there was country and there was
Yeah.
rock and roll.
You can go even deeper.
Oh,
it
yeah.
gets,
Oh,
it
yeah,
gets-
well,
Yeah, there's too many.
I was saying, I don't know if you're from
There's
Yeah.
too many.
yeah.
Yeah,
genres.
we had a group in here a couple of weeks ago, all the sang, and their music is, what do they call it?
neo-folk or dark metal.
Dark metal.
Okay, yeah.
And they started talking about this Viking folk and stuff like that, and I'm thinking, holy cow! I mean, you know, I figured I had a little
Story.
bit of a handle on music, but wow, there's stuff out there I've never even heard of.
We've got one track on this album you could argue is considered sludge metal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just
It's got a really
it's the one right in the middle that's got like it's almost like a battering ram. Riff. It's like it kind of stands out as a little bit more lo-fi and a little bit rough around the edges, but for what it is, I think it's awesome. It's
It's sludgy.
a little bit of a deep cut.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a little break right now. We're going to listen to a couple more songs off of
The Hunting Ground.
There we go, right here on CIOE 97.5, the Alpha East Coast Music, and on Hidden Gems Broadcasting.
Touching down the way our heroes go, headlong into darkness, the unknown.
And ladies and gentlemen, we've got Shadows of Everest in the studio with us today. Now, guys, you are going to be doing how many festivals this summer?
So far 2, but it's booking season right now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
applications are going.
So are
Yeah,
you
we're still waiting to
free
hear
to
back
tell
from-
us any of the ones that you are confirmed with, or?
Definitely, yeah. We are confirmed to be playing Maritime Metal and Hard Rock.
Festival 7.
Yeah.
We're very excited about that one.
Yeah, very
First time
excited.
for us.
Almost wore my volunteer T-shirt tonight.
And we're doing the Support Local Music Festival again.
Oh yeah, it's September.
Right
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
And where's that being held this year?
Monty's?
Yeah, it's at Monty's.
Yeah, Monty's, yeah.
Yeah, right on. That's always that.
Yeah.
You do that every year, right?
Yeah, we've been on the
This-
Last 2.
Two.
Yeah.
We're also doing April Assault, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
April
Are we allowed to talk about that one?
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah, sure.
Friggin', I'll talk
Cool.
about it. Yeah.
We
April
are
Assault.
playing April Assault as well, and
where's that gonna
That's
be?
going to be at Monty's,
All right, and that's in April.
April 19th. It's a whole April 19th, 20th show. It's like a fundraiser.
We're
Nice.
also starting a small cross-Canadian tour with this little band called Tool.
yeah.
They're gonna
Supporting them on their next record.
Yeah, they're going to be opening for us.
Wish.
So, do you have any plans for any kind of tours, guys?
Not right now. It's too expensive
Yeah.
for right now. I mean, we'll play wherever we can make it.
Yeah.
We'd like to go other provinces maybe, but gotta have some cash for that.
Jim and I know a couple of places in New Brunswick and a couple of places in PEI that we can talk about.
Yeah, we've been to New Brunswick and
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we played Moncton, we played PEI.
like the Maritimes, I guess. Get out of the Maritimes, like maybe go
Yeah.
Ontario or
Oh,
something.
the country.
Yeah. Because
Yeah, well, I'm hoping my
Fritz.
cousin's going to rebuild his bar in Toronto, and if he does, I hope to be sending a lot of maritime talent up that way if I can.
Yeah.
So
Heck yeah.
that would be
I
good.
wonder, so you guys don't do a lot of acoustic sets then?
We haven't, but we've talked about it because we've said in the past that if you've really written a good song, then you can just pick up an acoustic guitar, play it, and it's a good song regardless as to how you're bringing it across, right? So we've talked about that, actually doing unplugged sets and doing all kinds of weird stuff, and that's what we like. We like the common and the familiar elements of rock and roll that everybody gravitates towards, but we like that Shadow of Everest kind of flavor that is twisting it up a little bit. And
Well, your first CD was like that. Your first CD was all full of surprises. Okay? Because you'd be going along listening to a song on your first CD, and then all of a sudden it would change a little bit. You go, where did that come from?
yeah, we like changes. We like
You
that.
know, like, I really liked it because, I mean, you know, not to be cliche or anything, but after a while, stuff sometimes gets to sound a little
Yeah.
bit the same.
Yeah.
And I never found that with your guys in your first CD. I never found that at all because every time you thought that it was gonna do that, there was a surprise in there.
Well, thank you.
You know,
That's
and
a
now
compliment.
That's what we were going for.
I've only had an opportunity to listen to 1 or 2 cuts off of this one yet because that's all I had gotten yet. Hint, hint. But still, you know, you guys, you stayed true to who you were. You haven't given up any of that for the man or for any of that, and thank you for that. And holy cow, the caliber. The playing was great, the last CD, guys. You guys are so much tighter. And you were tight to begin with. You know, there was
Thanks,
squeaking going on there, but now, yeah, the WD-40's got to definitely be used because you guys are bang on.
Penetrated.
Yeah,
Thanks,
you guys are
thank you.
bang on.
We
Thank
try
you,
we try to
thank
get
you.
this album to sound as if you were like right in the room with us. We try to make it sound as maybe the word is not so much dry, but just like as raw as
Raw
we
is
get.
a good term.
We didn't really want to be slapping as much post production on
Magic
this
on
as
it.
possible. We wanted to make it sound like when you're at a
Sound.
gig.
Yeah,
Yeah,
organic.
how we start
right?
on stage.
Like, yeah. It's music. Music is an organic process. It's fingers on strings. It's sticks on skins and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So when you're listening to it, that's what we want. We want you to feel, and we want you to hear what we feel while we're putting this
Yeah, and
together.
there's a couple parts where like as a group, technically we're not on the click anymore, but like that's rock and roll, right? Like that's
But we were tight as a band.
Yeah, exactly. The only people who know it is us. But
Yeah.
Well, I think there people are going to notice how tight they are.
I think so.
For the poor guy that is out there that notices, I'm sorry, man. For the one
We'll
guy
try
that's out
harder.
there,
Yeah.
Try harder next time.
Take another Valium and listen to it. You know, there's no reason for anybody to ever critique your music because it's yours.
Yeah.
And it's real from you, and nobody else can add or take away from any of that realness. So, you know, I mean, if they don't have anything nice to say, then really and truly they should just move on. I like I said, I'm blown away
Thank
by the change in your band, the maturity in your band. Like the last one, you could see where you guys were eager and you wanted to get that out there and everything, and it came out an excellent project. But I don't think it really gave us the true idea of who you guys were.
No,
This CD,
we were kind of all over the place with the first one. We had some production issues, we had tracking issues, we had it was such a nightmare, and Sean and I don't ever want to
It
live
was
that
an experience.
This time around, a lot of the product was cultivated with the four of us right here, and it was all, you know, written as a group. You know, I shared lyric ideas with these guys before it was all finished, which was new to me. Bounced ideas around as to what themes the songs were going to have in them, so that gave me more ideas for lyrical content. And Andrew's been like really great at asking, like, what's the melody, what's the lyric melody, you know, like what's it going to sound like, and like pulling that out of me and making me work harder, and so we get exactly what we are supposed to sound like, right? Like group effort, and that's what this is. This was actual group effort from pretty much the ground up.
Yes.
This is finding our sound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know, I mean, for me, sitting here listening to you guys, it's like the friendship that goes on is very, very evident.
Oh, brotherhood, man.
And
I don't really like
the
these guys
one
that
thing
much.
that I notice more than anything at all in the room, hey Jim, is the respect, and that is monumental. I mean, guys, if you can keep that respect that you have for each other, you'll go a long, long distance. You really will.
We haven't had like one argument or even a disagreement, hey?
No.
Ever.
I don't think so. There's no point, man.
Yeah.
Like if I think there's been a couple times where we've gotten frustrated working on stuff, and we literally just looked at each other and said, "Let's just come back to it. Like this isn't working right now. We'll do something else." This
You
is
know,
just
and that's the
supposed
best
to
thing
be
to do when stuff gets frustrating. Leave it alone, walk away, and come back and look at it later. And it always looks different.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've got to hear a couple more songs off of Shadow Everest's new album. So we're going to do that right now on CIOE 97.5, the home of East Coast music. And also, you can catch us on the Hidden Gems Broadcasting.
I've been working hard, but not for long. Everything is clear.
Wolf's Den, ladies and gentlemen. We have Shadow of Everest in the studio with us today. And guys, we were just talking, you know, the things that go on in your mind. Jonathan, JV, you know what? You were saying that, you know, like somebody would send you something and then you'd have to pull a little bit more out and stuff like that. It just blows my mind. Like, the creative side of things, I mean, for most of us, what we get to see is the stage performance and the show. But we don't often get to find out the mental process that goes with this. Because, I mean, let's face it, I mean, when you're musicians and you're songwriters, this stuff isn't there just when you say, okay, it's time to write songs.
No, and it can be very frustrating when you want to sit down and create something and it's not there.
Yeah.
And there's no book or guide or anything to teach you how to do it.
You kind of just have to catch
happens.
it when it happens.
Yeah.
Like and one of the worst things ever is when you think of a cool riff or a cool part, and then you're like running to get home to your guitar, and then once you get there, it's gone.
I don't know how many times I've been stuck in traffic, and I know I've lost hundreds of these.
Yeah.
And I've been sitting there, and I'm just bobbing my head, going, "Yeah,
Actually,
that's gnarly."
It reminds me of a story when I was younger. I had a friend he was a great musician. He's a multi-instrumentalist, and he used to get ideas, and he would keep with him a little old tape recorder.
Yeah.
And he would sing the riffs into it. And this was about 10, 15 years ago. He'd sing the riffs into the tape recorder.
Yeah.
And then one day he lost it.
Oh, no.
So somebody must have found that and just heard, this guy did it.
Dude, I do the same thing. I use the voice notes app on my iPhone, and I sing riffs, or I tap
If it's a
rhythms
really
out
good riff,
on my steering
you got
wheel. I'll
to.
sit in the parking lot, I'll tap out rhythms and beats and stuff like that. And same deal. If you went through my voice notes, you'd hear all this like dun, 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 and it's just me sitting in my car singing
I used to
bull.
take my
This crazy guy beside you.
ukulele, just leave that in the car.
Yeah, when I was doing comedy, I had like 50 books. I had books everywhere in case I thought of something.
Yeah.
Right? And you'd write something down and it would be a great thought. And then you'd come back to it like a month later, you'd find the book and you'd open it up and you'd go,
Wouldn't make any sense.
I write everything down, and that's if I had to give advice to somebody who is trying to songwrite or write poetry or a book or script at anything, write everything down and don't rely on the notes on your phone or your laptop. That's not organic enough. That's not how your brain works.
yeah.
Get a pen or a pencil and have notebooks. I have 70 notebooks at home.
Yeah.
Some of them are full, they're chock full, and I date them, and I go back and write notes. I use different colored ink, and I just get everything out of my head onto paper. And yeah, some of it's crap, and some of it you look back on, it's cringeworthy, and you go, "Oh man, that's so bad. That's never going to end up anywhere." But the point is you have to get it out, and the more you get out, the better you get at going from your imagination and your brain into something tangible that you can show your bandmates or whoever.
Yeah. But you said the most important thing there. You have to get it out.
You have to get it out.
I always just feel the good stuff, the really good stuff. I'll just remember it. It'll stick because it's good. So. Filters
Yeah.
itself.
Talk to me in 20 years.
You know what? If I heard that from anyone else, I'd tell them they were a liar. But Sean is probably the only person in the whole world I've ever met who could probably do just that. Sean's an absolute wizard when it comes to music, man. He comes to us and he says, "Hey guys, I got a riff," and I go, "Oh no," because it's going to be a monster, and we have to tame it. But that's fun because Sean walks in, he's got this idea, and it's just the Minotaur that's just been unleashed in the room, and we gotta bring it to its knees, and we gotta figure this thing out, and we gotta take control of it, and that's
I listen to a lot of Dream Theater. I love it.
Smallest guy in the group and he's the mightiest.
Sean's got really crazy, really cool ideas, and we love him for that because initially he brings us this riff, and we go, "Dude, what are you doing to us? What are you doing?"
Especially me.
What are you subjecting us to here, man? And then by the time we kind of wrap our fingers around it, we say, "You know what? This feels good. This is really good," and that's just how this works.
The song in particular we're talking about is called The River.
Oh Jesus!
And it's a monstrous biting riff.
Well, that was a riff that JV initially had, and then I just kind of took it from there.
Came over to his house. I was like, "Hey man, I got like this cool little groovy
And it was
riff."
cool.
And it was
cool.
groovy, and then we kind of left it alone too long, and Sean got at it, and it's like leaving the garbage out, and the raccoons.
Let's come and feed today.
We let friggin' Sean have this riff too long, and he says, "Guys, I got some more parts," and we're like, "Okay, what are they?" He shows them to us. Okay, yeah, how are we gonna make these fit together? And then that got left alone, and Sean comes back. He's like, "Guys, there's some more parts in the song." We're like, "Oh no!"
One of my favorite things about that song is that it really showcases the hardware we use.
Yes.
Like we're a metal band, but we don't play through like triple rectifiers.
Yeah,
or we have
like scoop
5150s.
image and-
Yeah, we don't do any of that stuff. We play through like Marshalls and HKs and Oranges and stuff, right?
So you get a little bit of dirt out of the old Marshall there. You can't
Yeah.
complain about that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but we go for a much more retro sound, but it's still pretty aggressive. And on this record, actually, we recorded with three tube heads.
Yeah.
The Marshall JVM 410, and then an orange Rocker Verb Mark
50.
II,
Yeah.
and then your Hughes and Kettner.
Yeah.
And then you said you had an old guitar that you were using too. An old Strat.
There were several
A bunch of
guitars.
guitars.
I
Yeah.
played an old 1978 Fender American
Oh, it's
hardtail
nice.
Strat. It's real nice.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
I'm older than that, you know.
my PV guitar.
The drums were phenomenal, though. Matt, you can speak on the drums, though, but that kit sounded so good.
Yeah, they were Ayotte. They're like handmade drums. Ray Ayotte from Vancouver, I think Vancouver Island.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're incredible. They've
Sound
got
great.
wooden hoops, and actually my uncle Dave Burton, he's a professional drummer. He's a jazz guy. He played with Natalie McMaster, Rita McNeil for
I thought
19
I knew
years.
that name. Yeah.
He was endorsed by Ayotte, and he's got an Ayotte kit. So when we arrived to Sonic Temple and I saw that's what I would be playing, I was like, wow.
It's cool.
So yeah, they sound great.
So you enjoyed the experience of doing this new CD.
Oh yeah,
So much.
incredible.
And so how many songs have you got written for the next one?
A
So we
dozen.
probably got a
Yeah.
bunch between us.
Yeah.
No, we're not joking.
No,
It's-
listen, I wasn't asking you as a joke. Okay, I know you guys do well.
We're gonna have to go through them.
Yeah.
That's what we're gonna have to do is just sit down and say these are the first half dozen ideas that we want to
Yeah.
really flesh out and go from there.
We were thinking about starting to write songs and drop A.
Oh, it's happening.
Just different tunings.
Just,
Yeah, just-
completely go all the way down there.
Going deeper, deeper into the metal zone, for sure.
Well, I'll be interested to see what comes out, and I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to sit down and listen to this from start to finish. Okay, I mean, I'm biting at the bit to do that, and I'll probably do it in the next day or two. I've been pretty ill the last little while, and I've missed a lot of stuff that I should be listening to. But guys, listen, you know what? It's been nothing but a pleasure.
Thanks for having us, man.
Thank
you
you
so
for having
much.
us. Yeah, we
Yeah.
appreciate
And I
this.
wish you nothing but the best. And I'm going to be watching. And I'm hoping really this summer that I can talk Jay into letting me come over and introduce you guys in the Metal Fest.
We would be honored.
I'd really like to do that. That would
Yeah.
be a treat for me.
That'd be sweet.
I'll be there anyway because I'll be on the blues side. So
We'll see you there.
We'll
man.
see you there.
But
We look forward to it.
congratulations on that. Congratulations today on the CD release.
Thank you.
And much success in the future. And you're always welcome back in the Wolf's Den anytime.
We'll be back, man.
Awesome.
Thank
you
you very
kindly.
much.
Thank
You're
you.
more than welcome.
Appreciate
Ladies
this.
and gentlemen, as we always say on the Wolf's Den, please be kind to one another. Be nice. And always hug the ones you love.